It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. It is our regular select board meeting. All members are present and we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a flag right here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Conflict of interest board.
No.
Okay. Meeting minutes.
If we approve the select board meeting minutes for May 27th, 2025, second.
Discussion.
Yes, I
Okay.
don't know if I misspoke or if it was just transcribed wrong, but the household hazardous waste day is the 13th, not the 12th.
Okay.
And 13th is the Sunday, the 12th is the Strawberry Festival, so that needs to be corrected, but that's it.
Okay. All in favor with those changes or with that change? Okay. Consider approving select board meeting minutes for June 2nd.
Approve. Second,
Discussion. All in favor? I'm gonna abstain. I wasn't present. Somebody like to take us through the warrants?
sure, move we approve accounts payable number 54 in the amount of $275,429.17. Second.
Discussion.
We have a couple things to note on here. You'll see general or prepaid expenses. So to RHR Smith and Company and to KS State Bank. Those are prepaid for fiscal year 26. And so that's just something the KS State Bank was for an LED lighting contract that was started in 2021. It's a 7-year contract. So we're in our 5th year. And then fiscal year 26 audit for RHR Smith and Company, and that includes half of the payment for next year plus a audit work. Yes. And then additionally, you'll see in there myself and our LRC director, and those are for reimbursements for credit card because our credit card had an issue with it. So that has since been resolved, but in the meantime, when that was not working.
Okay. Anything else from the board? Okay, all in favor? Oh, Marianne, you're.
Yes. No, okay, I just have to find, I'm flipping around so much, I've lost myself here.
There's a separate page that was included in the back.
Yes. Pardon me, I'll get there.
I redacted it from some because it has deductions on there.
Consider approving payroll or move we approve payroll number 53 in the amount of $21,547.49. Second.
Discussion.
You'll see that the firefighter stipends and the select board stipends are on there, so that closes out the fiscal year 25.
All in favor? All right. New business, consider approving a community action grant fund. Shannon, you want to tell us about this?
So sometime before I joined the community, there was a grant put in for a hydrological vulnerability assessment, and it was through the community action grant. And the community action grant is through the state Department of Innovation and Policy, and they do grants for climate change, and they can do up to $75,000 per community. And if you join with another community, you can get up to 175,000. And now the grant that was submitted on behalf of the town of Wayne was to conduct a hydrological vulnerability assessment with a consultant to come in and study the Wayne's existing water bodies. that grant was approved for $75,000. It's non-matching funds, so all it would be is just to approve it. And once it gets approved, then it will go, I can tell the Community Action Grant Director that they can then send us a contract and sign that, and then they will disperse those funds to the town.
Will we get it in a lump sum, do you know?
I believe so, yes.
The contract, what is it, does it require us to do anything?
Do we have the process set up for that, or is that a separate process? Do we have to go in to find the people we need to do, or is it pretty turnkey once we get the money?
So I believe that it was set up through Paula Narcessian, and there were two other people that wrote the grant with her. I believe that they are the ones that were taking the lead on it, as far as what I understand, through previous leadership.
I think they presented to the board maybe this winter.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So is that a straight pass through? We receive the money, we pay the money out,
Yes,
penny for penny?
yes.
Is there a place that we can go to learn more about it as it comes through? We'll see the contract and the project.
Once it gets approved, then I will submit that to the director, and then they will send a contract back to get signed with a date of start. They asked for a starting date. I told them, I haven't said anything yet. I was gonna depend on what the select board chose this evening, and then give them the select date, and then we'll receive a contract. And then once the contract is signed, then it will go active, I believe it's July 14th, and then we'll go from there.
Great.
And I'll
Right.
send that contract out to the select board as soon as it's received.
I'm excited to learn about it. All right, thank you.
Somebody like to move that?
Yeah, move we approve the community action grant funds for $75,000 for the hydrological vulnerability assessment.
Second.
Further discussion. All in favor? Okay. Consider approving, fiscal year 26 PSAP service contract. Shannon?
And then this is just a standard contract. I'm not sure if it's come through the select board in the past, but it's just something that gets signed off by the chair. And that's through our dispatching services with Androscoggin County. Looking at it, we had received it after our budget, so I think it actually, I don't know if I was just guessing or if it was backwards, but it was, came up to 5,633, and I believe on our warrant, it says 5,366. So that'll be something to consider. And as of this year, I think it even came in after the last year's budget over just slightly as well. But there's nothing newer.
So we'll be about $300 off,
Yeah.
give or take,
So we've over budgeted,
Under
we've
under.
under budgeted.
something to keep into consideration for myself.
Yes, good. So we've under budgeted 2 years in a row because of the timing of
Yes.
this request. Okay. Okay. Move we approve the FY 26 PSAP service contract.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
And we don't pay this until September of next year?
It's not due until September of next year. I noticed that we haven't yet paid the one for this, set for fiscal year 25 yet. So that will be on the next warrant too. I just confirmed that with them on Friday.
Okay, okay. Nice.
Town manager report.
Going over, I just received the final invoice for Maine Tennis and Track. And so as you saw in the expense and revenue report that I sent that to you last week, there were two special revenue accounts. One shows one of the grant reimbursements for $81,377. And there was another one that has shown previous reimbursements, but that one's at negative $64,244. So that's actually a total of $10,782 remaining between those two accounts for the Lad Court project. until we receive our final reimbursement. And so I can go ahead and get that final reimbursement submitted. And then hopefully we can get that back before that last Tennyson track is due. It's due on the 29th. And so I'm just letting you know that that'll come up in case I have to, just letting you know as far as discrepancies.
Well, they won't pay you until we pay.
So,
So you pay first and then you get the reimbursement.
right.
That's why we had that special meeting
Right,
on your
that's-
first day, at work. We had a
Yes.
special
Right.
meeting.
So I don't know about how we want to proceed with that then, if that's something that I need to bring back up with the town.
No, we have, it's covered by the warrant that was passed at the special meeting. So you're good. You can pay the bill,
Okay,
send the money in, and then when you get your half back, put it in the bank.
okay. Just letting you know. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe,
I hope we covered it.
yeah, it is.
So for the annual town meeting warrant, we did have an article in there that went over the Lad Rec Center funds for the Winthrop Area Federal Credit Union. One thing that did not include was a request that the Lad Rec Center had put in to move 10,000 from their current account to the
Well-
Winthrop Area Federal account. So as far as moving that at some point.
So our numbers are off.
No, the numbers are not off. All we addressed was what was in that account.
Right.
This is a unresolved issue on, by what authority does the town write a check to the Winthrop Federal Credit Union? It needs to be resolved. Also, I know we're gonna have to get together pretty soon. The financials that you sent out, it indicates that the Lad Center is behind. I don't believe that's true from whatever everybody else told me, but that's what Trio says. And so we've got to find out what the deal is
Right.
and fix Trio. And then at some point in time, I think we're gonna have to involve the town again, I believe. Well, you need to ask for some advice from our legal experts on that.
So is the
I-
10, oh,
I mean, if y'all want to vote to transfer $10,000, that's, something you could do, but I don't really know what the authority is to do that.
you're transferring it into the credit union?
Yes, that was one of the warrants that we have for the town warrant.
Right, to move it back in,
For transparency's sake, is
Right.
to establish it as a capital reserve account for the Lad Rec Center operations and capital reserves. But it didn't include the additional 10,000
$10,000.
that they had requested a couple months ago, and that's something we've been working through. And I'm just bringing it to your attention as we move
Right.
closer and final out the year.
So
And
it was requested but not moved yet.
correct, because we didn't know the process as far as approving that to move in.
So for the purpose of the town warrant, I think it was a point in time that warrant was written based on the money in the account at that point in time. I don't think we want to hurry over tomorrow and move that money.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like Henry said, we got to sort out that legal operations with the rec center that's been dwelling on us.
I don't know what our authority is to move the money unless we ask the town, and it's not a warrant article this time. What we asked the town, because it would be something that's explainable, is that there's a credit union account that the town owes, but the funds in that account are funds that have been contributed by donors for Lad Center programs or have accrued from revenue from Lad Center programs, but not taxpayer dollars. And the town, if they approve this, is authorizing us to take that money, which now is just town funds in an account with no designation, and create and fund a reserve account for Lad Center programs with that. And that would basically say that money may be spent only for Lad Center programs. Right now, they're just town funds.
right, the 56,000.
Mhm.
So my
Plus
point
reference.
is, I don't think we should act on the 10,000.
No, I don't see how we
No.
can. I mean, I don't know what the authority is to do it.
No. The account number is not mentioned in the ordinance.
Well, there's no appropriation to transfer funds to a Lad Center reserve account. That's why.
That what we did before?
That was,
Yeah, we
we'll
did
have it
that
on a
before,
warrant. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I'll just tell them.
No, we did, and if 3 out of the 5 of us decide to do it again, we can do it again.
Why now?
So my only concern right now is if you were to transfer it into that, it will make the warrant article that you present to the select board or to the town tomorrow night. It will show saying that there is 58,000, I think, in the account, with, which then it would be 68,000.
Right,
Well, but-
our numbers are wrong.
Yeah, but also, do you have that article there?
Sorry, here.
It also says. It also says, and designated as number shall be added to said non-lapsing reserve account.
Mm.
What do we have here? To provide all interest accruing to and deposits made to such account shall be added to the account. So it says I think he probably isn't gonna mess that up. See, what I'm here.
But that has
Go
to
ahead.
pass first.
Yeah, first
Once
off,
it
it has to,
passes,
it has to
We're
pass.
all set.
Yeah, because it says that the account is gonna be established and to appropriate to said non-lapsing account funds in the amount of 54,000, blah, blah. Balance contained in the town of Wayne deposit account number 25542 in the Winthrop Area Federal Credit Union and designated as lad recreation account. Next section, to provide all interest accruing to and deposits made to such account number such and such shall be added to said non-lapsing reserve account. And the final, to provide the select board with continuing authority to spend from the account for those purposes without further vote of the town meeting.
Why not consider $10,000 as it incorporated into that?
Yeah, but nobody said this is okay yet. It would be something to take up after the town.
Right.
If the,
20
yeah,
in
if the town,
24
approves-
hours,
yeah,
it'll
if the
be
town
settled.
approves, well,
Or
if they- if-
settle. one
as
way.
long as they vote yes.
Right, granted.
All right.
So my point was, take no action tonight.
Right.
Those numbers are correct. The town can decide
Yeah.
at town meeting,
Yes.
and then we have to bring back the request for the 10,000 and whether or not
Yeah.
that.
The town meeting
Authorizes
is
it.
getting us. If the town meeting approves this, I think that's getting us a step closer to making what looks to me like sense, because now we'll have a reserve account.
Right.
That's designated for the Lad Center. Then the next question is, how can we add to that account from town funds? Anything that the Lad Center, gives us after that and says, we want to put this in the account, we could accept that
Mhm.
and supplementation of it as a supplementing an existing appropriation and put it in the account with no problem. The move of the 10,000 is a slight problem. Also, one of my questions on the financials is, we have the same situation to a much lesser degree with the farmer's market and aging at home. It runs the same way, only it's a teeny problem that we need to look at sometime. Our financials each year show a carry forward for those two. But it doesn't show any carry forward for the Lad Center account. And I don't know why that is or what it means.
I'm looking into that.
Okay.
Eric. Is one potential solution to the $10,000 requested transfer. I think you're right, Henry, once this article passes and the select board has the authority to accept supplemental contributions.
Mhm.
We could just request from the Lad Charitable Corporation that the next installment be split. So that 10,000 of it goes into the capital, to the reserve account, and the balance goes into operating.
Yes, and the only problem that we have is the current the current Lad money that's commingled with the town funds in the budget. They have to fix that out. But even for your operating funds, if we just, before we stick it in a bank account, if we took action and said, we accept, we've been offered $10,000 to supplement the $4,300 Lad Center programs appropriation, we accept it, it can go do that. So yeah, they could put it in either, they could split it between those two.
And finally, next week, the office will be closed to recognize not only the Juneteenth holiday on Thursday, but also Kathy will be going on vacation. And so, the CEO and myself will be available. And we'll be open Wednesday evening from 5 to 8 PM, and I'll post that online. We have another clerk from another town that will come in and help facilitate and open up for one night next week.
Thanks.
Are you done?
Yep.
May I ask, how are we coming on our job search?
So I've just got to send out, we've done 3 interviews so far for the tax collector treasurer role. I think that we may move forward, at least with one of them and see, how that goes.
Okay. Board member report.
Nothing here?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Public comments.
I was, one of the grant writers for the Community Sustainability Partnership, so I offered the opportunity, if you have any questions regarding that grant, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. I'm sorry, I was unaware that the grant was on the agenda. I zoomed over here as fast as I could when I learned that it was on the agenda. I'm sorry that I missed that portion of the meeting. My apologies.
No problem.
Paul, is there anything does the town have any obligations under this grant?
Well, the town, has the obligations to meet the terms of the contract, once the contract is entered into. Have you heard anything from the state at this point?
Yes, and so that's what, this was coming to get approved to accept those funds. In order to get that approval, or in order to move forward with a contract, I'll just need a starting date. And then, tomorrow she'll send me the contract with that starting date. So I wanted to ensure we had approval from the council tonight. So,
But we don't have do we have a sample contract from them?
no,
I have not
Okay.
communicated with regarding any of
Okay.
those terms,
Okay.
or deliverables or dates. The term of the agreement should be 1 year, 12 months. There are various deliverables outlined in the grant application, that would be, translatable into a contractual agreement, with various due dates that we could, transcribe into a contract.
Are the people and processes basically turnkey in place to be able to start on the project?
Nope. An RFP will have to be, crafted and it'll have to go out to bid. The work will be done by a consulting firm and, we'll have to put that out for bid.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll take a little time to get things rolling, because we'll have to put that out for bid.
Okay.
If there are even suggestions from folks who helped put that grant together on, here's the universe of recommended and appropriate consultants in the space, all that homework's up to the town as well.
Yeah, so we have a list of potential bidders. I, kept a little list of potential bidders together so that we would have to send the RFP out to once that is drafted.
Great.
All right,
So,
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
Yeah, and congratulations.
yeah, thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's a good joint effort by a number of people. I'd like to make sure that credit is given. Ben Titcomb was one of the grant writers and, Grow Smart Maine was a service provider organization.
I remember
was
that.
very much involved in supporting the process for the grant writing. And, we had a number of community organizations that provided, letters of support and, we need to probably provide, notification to those community organizations to let them know that we have been selected as an awardee of the grant. Just as a courtesy to all of them, I've let many of them already know informally that we've been awarded, but some of them, have not yet been officially none of them have been officially notified, but some of them haven't even been informally notified of the award at this point.
All right.
Great.
Other public comments? Yes, Eric.
Just wondering if we can get a status report, the status of getting legal opinions on the many land center documents that we sent to town council. I haven't heard anything since a conference call several weeks ago.
I have not either. We did get them to respond. I said, break out this portion of all of our questions to handle the warrant article on the reserve fund. Other than that, nothing.
Okay.
So we need to shake it up a little bit and see if they're any more inclined to have an answer for us.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, Mark.
I think this will be your last meeting, so I personally would like to thank you for your many years of service on this one.
No, thanks. I appreciate that.
One more?
Got one more.
It'll be a, what do you call those? Lame duck or whatever that is.
You still have the,
Giving
you
myself
still
too
have
much
the.
credit. Thanks, Mark.
How many years were you on before you were here? Lost track, right?
Yeah, I completed my third term, 9 years. Calvin 7, Veer's 11. Long enough.
Yes.
Well, thanks. Move we adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?